If you're planning to buy or sell in Victoria in 2026, there are three things that you need to understand right now. I've been through multiple market cycles in Victoria, and what's coming next will surprise a lot of people. In this video, I'll walk you through what's most likely to happen and how buyers and sellers should prepare. So let's get into it. Here's what I think is going to happen in the Victoria real estate market in 2026. Let's go. Okay, before we have a look at going ahead to 2026, let's have just a quick review of what kind of happened in 2025. So currently, I would say prices are kind of stable. You know, some products, we can even see a slight increase, but I would think for the most part, we seem to have bottomed out a bit. At the beginning of the year, prices actually started to rise over the first few months. Then they started a fairly quick decline, and that's all sectors, single families, condo. When I say single family, I'm talking about houses and townhouses. So they certainly sort of was a bit of a decline there. And I would say in most cases, they've all seemed to sort of flattened out there. So story, well-priced homes sell, overpriced homes sit. So, price is certainly king. It's not like a bunch of years ago where you just put your house on the market, you had 5 or 6 offers, and you pick the best one that you like. The condo market, I would say, was absolutely the softest product last year, particularly if it was like a studio or a one-bedroom type of place. There's been a lot of that built, particularly in downtown Victoria. We definitely have an over inventory of that. But having said that, some condos do sell very well. For example, I had a very nice listing in the area on Humboldt Street, popular building. It was only a 1-bedroom, had a small den, we'll call it an office actually, but it had terrific city and water views, and also sort of panoramic view of the Olympic Mountains. So there's a really good market for that type of property. We priced it where it should be, and it sold fairly quickly. So the market, I would say, it's hard to sort of, talk in general terms because you've got to look at even like the condo market, certain segments of it. But overall, I would say that in most cases, it's absolutely turned into a much more balanced market, probably certainly favoring the buyer a little bit more than the seller right now. All right. What should buyers expect heading into 2026? Well, I think you're going to have some breathing room. There's more inventory. You don't have to, make an offer the first day. Having said that, if you've been out looking for a while and the right property comes up and it's priced right, well, don't think about it too long. We have, in some cases, this past year, seen multiple offers on properties. When I say multiples, it's maybe 2, maybe 3. But that's pretty rare. I feel as a buyer, it's going to be a little bit more of the same coming next year. So you should have good selection no matter what you're looking at. If you're looking at condos, yes, you're going to have a big selection depending on how many bedrooms, particularly if it's a studio or 1-bedroom. There's going to be a big selection, and you should probably be looking to get a little bit of a bargain for that type of property. Focus on the right home in the right neighborhood. Paint is cheap. So bad locations aren't. You can always, fix up the property, but you can't change the location once you bought it. So, don't shy away if it just needs a little bit of elbow grease there, because you can, do a few things to it, particularly if the kitchens or bathrooms, whatever you're going to do to it, for every dollar you spend, you're going to probably make at least $2 back. Okay, sellers, what can you expect in 2026? Well, the buyer's got the slight edge here in most cases. If you're single family, and you're priced right and you're in a good neighborhood, then, I would say it's pretty balanced. I wouldn't say it's favoring either party in that case. If it's a nice condo, 2 bedrooms with good square feet, 2 bedrooms or more, that is, with good square feet, and if you're waterfront or got great views of the city, mountains, or ocean, then there's typically a very good market for that. So, but it's the old story, pricing too high is like showing up with socks and sandals on. No one's impressed. Homes that are clean, bright, always get good traffic and better offers. So light, bright always paves the way if you want to get an offer on your property. But expect conditions. And I tell you what has been a real trend, particularly the last 2 or 3 months of this market, is is we're seeing way more offers come in that are subject to the sale of the buyer's property, particularly in the downsizing market. I've been fortunate enough to put a couple of these deals together. They are more difficult. But it is an option. It is a tool in the tool chest that you can use if you are, buying and selling. But that requires a lot of discussion, and everybody's situation is different. And so it's hard to generalize. But if you are a seller, do expect the offer to come in that is subject to the buyer selling their property first. So just be aware of that. That's a big thing. So overall, what do I expect in 2026? Well, you know what? I think it's going to be a bit more of the same. I think it's going to be a little bit better. I don't expect bidding wars. Again, like I said earlier, it doesn't surprise me if it's a good property in a strong area like Oak Bay or Fairfield that are incredibly popular, to see either the property sell very quickly at full price or maybe a little bit over the list price. But that's going to be the exception, not the norm. But it's good. Same old story, good, clean houses that don't need much work. There's always a good market for them in Victoria. And we might see more of the move up buyer that we haven't really seen a lot of. People maybe selling their condo or townhouse, where they were a first time buyer when they got into that property. Now they're thinking about a family. Now they need a bigger property. Could be a house, or maybe just, going from a condo to a townhouse. So I think we'll see a little bit more of that in 2026. But, like I said, the popular areas, I think will stay quite competitive. But again, in most cases, at the best, it'll be a balanced market. And I think in most cases, it might just lean a little more towards the buyer. Okay, what about interest rates and mortgage rates in 2026? Okay, so one thing to keep in mind here is mortgage rates are not based on the Bank of Canada rate. Mortgage rates are based on the bond rate, the 3-5-year bond rate. Let's talk about the Bank of Canada rate. Is what I'm hearing most pundits are talking about is that it's currently 2.25%. It seems like most of the pundits or analysts think it's going to stay around that. So that's good news for variable rate mortgages that are based on the going interest rates with the Bank of Canada. It's usually that plus 0.5%, 1%. I think the days of it being below that are long gone. But big banks they all seem to agree that they feel it's stable and we don't see it probably dropping again. Scotiabank sort of had a different twist on it. They said inflation could push rates up slightly later in the year. And of course, as you know, when you go buy groceries, nothing seems to get any cheaper, does it? So anyways, back to mortgages, fixed rate. I think we're going to see in the 3.5 to 4.5 range. I know certainly right now you can easily get under 4%, which is a heck of a lot better than the 6 plus maybe 6.5% that we were seeing a few years ago. So that's all good news. The days of the 1% and 2% mortgages. In some ways, I hope we never see that again because it means some sort of catastrophe has happened in the world. Anyway, so I think it's going to be stable. It's not going to be cheap, but it's not going to be too painful. Just kind of steady going on the mortgage rates going forward. If you've been waiting for them to drop more, I don't think you're going to see much of that. It could be next year. Could be a really good time to jump in the market. All right. So what's my advice for buyers in 2026? Well, I think you're going to have a pretty good selection. So feel good about that. First thing you got to do is, know what your budget is, know what you can afford. Make sure you get a proper approval from your bank, credit union, or your mortgage broker. Don't just make a phone call and, tell them you make this and you've got this and you got that. Provide them with the documents they ask for, get a proper approval for, because if the right property comes up, you want to make sure that you can afford it. I tell you, there's nothing more disappointing for a buyer and for the seller for this matter, if your financing doesn't come through. So that is absolutely job one. You should not be looking at properties until you got your financings, your mortgage approval, locked and loaded. That's, enough said on that. Okay. So the next thing you want to do is probably pick three things that are must have when you're buying. Maybe it's location. It could be a bunch of things, right? So if you're looking at condos, maybe you've got a dog or a pet, a cat, and not all buildings allow that. So make sure that it's dog friendly. For example. Also, sometimes there's size restrictions. The dog can only be like up to 20 pounds, and you've got a 60-pound bulldog or something like that. For other things for condos that are often important is having in-suite laundry. But it can be a whole bunch of things, right? So if it's a house, maybe you have to have a garage, maybe you have to have a suite, maybe you want to have a certain size yard. But in most cases, for a lot of people, is location is super important. And like I said earlier, right, you can always fix up the property and do improvements to it. You just can't change the location once you're there. So just what you want to do is when the right home shows up, be ready to pull the trigger. And one last thing, when you're house hunting, make sure you bring some snacks because house hunting is hunger inducing, and bring enough to share with your realtor. Okay, for sellers, what am I seeing in 2026? What can you expect? Well, you know what? It's the same old story. Make sure your home is an easy yes. If you're selling your car, guess what? You detail it, you clean it, you get it ready for people to look at it. Your house is absolutely no different there. Again, price it to sell. And here's a common thing that sellers come up with, right? They see a house down the street that say it's listed at 1.5 million. So they think there should be 1.5 million. The problem is maybe that house is like $200,000 over its market value, right? You want to sit down with your realtor and look at properties that are in your neighborhood or similar neighborhoods and houses that have a similar sized lot and similar sized house to yours and compare that. And the other thing you want to think about with that is, if your house is all fixed up and you're looking at a house that needs a little bit of work, well, then you can adjust your place upward based on what that property sells for. And the other way around, if a real cream puff is sold for 1.5 million and you need a new kitchen and some new bathrooms, oh, guess what? You're not going to get that 1.5. So, really take the time to get your house ready for the market because there's only one first impression for the buyer. Another thing I'll mention as well that is really a good thing to do for home sellers is get a pre-inspection. So what is that? When you're buying, you typically get, your home inspector to go inspect the property. But you want to do it when you're selling as well. We sold our house 5.5 years ago, and the first thing I did was call a building inspector that I really trust. He went through everything. You know what? There are a few small things came up. We fixed them. What weren't big items, but particularly when the market was a lot better then, but when the market gets a bit soft like it is now, if there's 3 or 4 small things that are wrong, guess what? That can lead to no offer and no sale. So if there's some things you can easily nip in the bud, take the time. Yes, it's going to cost you, $600 or $700, but I tell you what, it's money well spent because, you don't want to lose a sale just because of, something that you could have easily taken care of. And it could be any number of things. So keep that in mind because that's probably the best advice I can give you when you're selling. Okay, one last thing when you're selling, and I don't want to feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but price is so important. It's a critical thing when you're listing your property. So really take the time to determine your list price with your realtor and be practical with that, and you should get good results. Okay, let's sum it up. So here, in a nutshell, what I see next year, I think we're going to have a little bit, some increases in value, not a whole lot. I would think, I'm going to say under 5% and probably maybe 3%. Some types of properties like condos that are small, I don't think we're going to have any increases there. And if anything, I think we'll have price decreases. But again, if you got a nice condo with good square footage, and when I say good square footage, I'm talking probably 1,100 plus. and you've got some nice views, I think there'll be a good market for that, and we'll see a bit of a uptick there. Single family houses, I think, will continue to sell well, and even a little better than last year. Buyers, you're going to have good selection. So, yes, you can take your time to a certain extent, but just make sure you're ready to go when the right property comes up there. So, anyways, that's sort of what I see coming up next year. I think it's a little bit more of the same, but only it's just going to be just a little bit better. We usually know by the middle of January or February 1st, how good the market's going to be, because some years I've had the phone ringing, early January. When I say early January, once about January 3rd or 4th, people are calling and inquiring, and that's usually a good sign. I've had a little bit of that already this year, and that does happen. When I say this year, I'm talking about December. So that's sometimes a very good sign of what's going to happen. So I have had a few inquiries, and I feel that again, I've got a little more confidence in the market next year. So anyways, that's what I think is going to happen in 2026, and I'd really like to hear your predictions, what you think is going to happen in the Victoria real estate market. So, hey, feel free to drop a comment down below. I enjoy the conversation. I will respond to any questions you have. If you're thinking about moving to Victoria, relocating here from another province or even up on wherever, just put the word relocation in the comments down below, and I'll make sure you'll get a copy of our relocation guide. You'll find it very valuable and hopefully save you a lot of time and maybe some money as well. And finally, if you're not sure about moving to Victoria is kind of the right thing for you, then watch this video right here. It's going to help you to make the right decision.